Alright everyone, here is my finished Rangoli with my radial symmetry, my patterns that are repeating, and my watercolor paint in the background. So if you have finished all of your drawing with your patterns and you have made sure that you're using radial symmetry, meaning the same all the way around in each of your pie slices, then it is time to start with your watercolor paint. So here's how I started my watercolor paint. Let's just imagine that this is my Rangoli right here. I have drawn everything, and I've even added a little bit of color with my colored Sharpies. So I can use two supplies today to add some color in the space around my patterns. I can either use the watercolor paint. This is called liquid watercolor paint. So this watercolor paint, I have red, blue, and yellow for you. Now these are really watery already. They already have water in them. You don't need to dip in your water, then dip in your color. You just need to dip in your color and you can paint with these. So if I want to use the liquid watercolor paint, I'll just dip in my color that I want to use, and I can paint wherever I want on my Rangoli. So if I want to paint kind of crazy all over and just mix my colors, that's fine. Or if you want to stay in a certain spot and just do a color pattern, that's fine too. So I can just paint in this spot right here and try and stay inside of the space right here. Or I can just paint all over my Rangoli if I want. So I can paint red, or I can wash my brush off, dip in my yellow, and maybe mix yellow into it to make maybe an orange. So I'm just mixing on my paper here to make a different color. Okay, so that's how we use the liquid watercolors. We really need to smooth them out so we can still see the color and the drawing underneath. So really smooth out that color. Now if I want to use the other type of watercolor paint, what I need to do is take my water cup and dip in my water cup before I dip in my paint, because these don't have water in them yet. These are regular watercolor paints. I need to add water to them to make them work. So dip in my water, swish around in my paint, and I can make this watercolor paint work, wake it up a little bit with the paint. I can also use this paint to paint on top of my Rangoli. What I really need to make sure of though is that I have enough water added to this paint to really smooth it out. If this paint is too thick, you won't be able to see your nice drawing details underneath. So really keep adding water to it to smooth it out. You should be able to see the paper underneath. So if my paint was too thick and I had not enough water in it, if I kept adding paint and I didn't keep adding water to it, it might cover up some of my shapes, and that's not what I want. I want to add some water to it to really smooth it out. Okay, so again, I can keep painting in these spaces and doing some color patterns, or I can just get kind of crazy and paint over the whole thing. So maybe I just want to paint and mix some colors over the whole Rangoli. That's totally fine. I can even maybe move my paper and mix some colors like this, kind of drippy all over. So just be really creative with the paint. There's no rules to how you paint this. You can paint it any way that you like today, okay?